morning everyone. Today I'm going to show you how we're going to make some ramen noodles. And normally when you make ramen noodle, it's a very durable noodle because you want it to be able to sit in the water or in your broth and not fall apart. So what we're going to need is, this is baking soda that's been baked. You take a little bit of baking soda and you're going to put it in a 250-degree Fahrenheit oven, and you're going to let it bake for at least 1 hour. You're going to put it on some parchment, and then once it's cooled off, you're going to put it in a jar, and then you always have it ready for when you need it. So normally it would be 2 cups of flour if you're serving 4 people, to half a cup of water. For every cup of flour, you would need 1 teaspoon of the soda. So here we are. We have 1 cup of flour. That means I would need a 1/4 cup of warm water. And to this, I am going to put 1 teaspoon of my baking soda that has been baked and turned into an alkaline salt. And we're going to mix this. And then we're going to pour it into our flour. So while that is dissolving, I'm going to add a little bit of salt to my flour. About a teaspoon of salt. Mix this up. And we're going to add our alkaline water once it has been completely dissolved. Now this is going to give me 2 cups or 2 bowls of ramen noodles. So it's going to be perfect for me and my daughter. But this is, like I said, just to show you how we do it. You're going to need maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons of extra water if needed, because it might be too dry. As long as you don't put way too much water, we're going to be good. Erica, would you be so kind as to give me just a little extra water for me in this cup? You don't want to overdo it, because then you're going to get a very wet, warm water, Erica. Thank you. Do you need more? No, this is good. We're going to put, at a little at a time, I'm putting just 2 for now. And this is, I'm putting 1 tablespoon for now, because that's a half tablespoon I was playing with. Sorry about that. 1 extra tablespoon for now, and see where it takes us. You don't want this to be a soft noodle. You need this to be a firm noodle. And it looks like you might not have enough, but you have more than enough. There we go. You can now pick this up with your hands and form it into a ball. There you go. That's perfect. Pick up the rest of the flour. So I would say a 1/4 cup plus a tablespoon of water, warm water. That's all you need. And notice how it kind of made the dough a little yellow. That's the alkaline salt that we use, which was a baking soda prior to it. And this is a perfect dough. It's firm, yet you can knead it by hand if you have to. And you don't need to suffer. If it's too firm, you won't be able to, if you don't have a machine, you won't be able to do it by hand. But this one is just perfect enough to also do it by hand if you have to, if you don't have a machine. There you go. Now we're just going to pick that all up. Let me feel it. Maybe sprinkle just a little extra flour on that and pick that up. You want it to be a firm dough, because those noodles really have to hold its own in a hot broth. Once your dough has been formed into a nice ball, you want this to rest at least 30 minutes before you pass it through the machine. Remember, the firmer the dough, the better your noodle. There you go. Now, if you don't have a machine, I'd say don't add the extra sprinkle of flour. Just leave it with the 1/4 cup and the 1 extra, maybe you could even do half a tablespoon of water. Remember, it's all about feel, right? When you're cooking, you have to know what you're getting. If you find it's too mushy, you know that you're making a very soft dough. And if you find that you can't even press your hands into the dough, then you're going to need a little extra water. So it really is up to you. And if it doesn't come into a perfect ball in the beginning, that's okay. As it sits, it will get softer and more pliable. You know, everybody loves ramen noodles, but nobody loves the ingredients in those packages. But unfortunately, to keep those packages on a shelf, you have to put stuff in there to hold a shelf life. But a lot of people are worried about how it's affecting their health, and they're all trying to make a difference in their diet. And you know what? It really doesn't take long to do this. And come tomorrow, you just put it through the machine or hand roll them out yourself, and you've got beautiful, beautiful noodles. So it really isn't that much work. Just think of it. If you're making something else besides noodle, you're going to spend your time preparing that food, right? So this is what you're doing right now. You're preparing your dough for your beautiful bowls of miso soup that's going to have your fresh, handmade ramen noodles in it. Okay, so that's it. I am going to leave it in here for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to come back to you, and we're going to roll this a little bit out, and we're going to make a little broth of miso for our noodles. So I'll see you in a bit, guys. So here we are. We're going to make a small broth for our noodles. So I'm going to add some water. There we go. And to this, we're going to add some onion. So we have half an onion that I'm going to put in. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3. We've got 4 baby bok choy we're going to put in. And I'm just going to cut a portobello in large chunks. In 4. We're going to add some miso. And again, taste your broth. It's up to you how much you want to put in. There we go. We're going to put some star of anise. And we're going to put a little bit, well, I call it soy sauce, but it's a tamari, it's a koyo tamari, tamari sauce. It's not as strong as soy. I'm going to put a little bit of that. And then we're going to taste it if we want to add more of this, or if we want to add some extra salt. Maybe a piece of chili. At the moment, all I have is dry, so that's what I'm going to use. And, of course, some ginger. And ginger, again, it depends on how strong a ginger taste you want. So there you go. Okay, so here we go. We're going to put this on the burner, and we're going to cook this slowly. And while we're making our pasta, this is going to simmer. And then we have our broth ready for our delicious ramen noodles. So let's put this aside. And remember, it's what you want to put in that broth. And if you want to give it those Asian flavors, you know, you can use lemongrass. If you don't have lemongrass, what you could do is use a little bit of the rind of a lemon. You can use star anise. You can use all these flavors. Even a little bit of sesame oil if you want some soy sauce. Those are going to give you those great Asian flavors. So get creative and make a nice broth. And now for my dough. So I am going to start rolling this out, and we're going to make some noodles. Okay, here's our noodles. Now remember, we made a very small batch. And you're going to let the machine help you knead it. So you're just going to fold it in half and you're going to pass it through again. It's not going to look pretty, but what you're doing is you're actually kneading your dough. There you go. All right, that's better. So you're just going to keep passing it through your first notch. And this is going to help you knead your dough. And then you can start you could actually feel the difference of the dough because of the baking soda. There you go. Fresh ramen noodles, guys. And there we go.
There's some that fell.
And there we go. Beautiful noodles for dinner. So I'm going to continue making noodles, and I'm going to see you in a little bit when we put it in the broth. Put the water back on, Erica. Okay, here we go for our broth. This one. There we go. There we go. If you like this video, and if you do and you give them a try, let me know what you think. And guess what, guys? I'll see you in the next one.
For more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to Connie's RAWsome Kitchen, give it a thumbs up, and share it with your friend.